friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Leo energy. So lovely Leos. What does Leo want? This kind of came through right at the end of my channeling. Like, what does Leo want? So what do you want, Leo? Maybe you're like spending a lot of time thinking about what other people want. Maybe you're kind of deferring to others. What do you want? Have you even asked yourself that question? Are you even aware of what you want, or are you just kind of responding to the world? Like, what do you want? You're getting this thing about, it's like a pane of glass. I assume separating two people, perhaps. I was getting this thing of like feeling like maybe a breakup had happened between a guy and a girl. Just this general sense kept on coming back as I've been channeling for you. It could be that I've just realised there's cat hair on this card. It could be that the girl doesn't understand. Like, maybe like the guys broke up with the girl. This isn't going to be for everyone. I'm going to kind of move on from this quite quickly, but just if it is your situation, maybe something might come out in the cards. But there's a feeling of like the guy has broken up with the girl and the girl doesn't understand. It's like, sometimes like the guy doesn't give the answers, and so the girl is left thinking like she doesn't have that closure. So there could be a situation like that coming through. But just generally this idea of like the other side of the glass, or the other side of the screen, or the other side of the veil. So even things like there was a ladybird on the outside of a window, and I was thinking, oh, how weird would it be if it like came through the window. So this could be talking about, maybe looking at old pictures of somebody on your screen and wanting to be like, on your camera screen, and be thinking, I want to be able to like pull them through. I wish I could like reach my hand into the picture and pull them through. There could also be this thing about, so I am going to use the ghost tarot for you. This thing about, it's like screaming on the other side and not being heard. Yeah, they show me, that old film, I think maybe it's The Graduate, where the guy's banging on the glass window and the girl's getting married, but it's like not being able to be heard or not being able to be seen. So a little bit like prison windows, like when someone's being interrogated and they have that like one-way mirror, so that the people can like look in and see, but the person who's being interrogated can't, to them it's just a mirror. So this thing about kind of like trying to come through but not being able to be heard. So if this is it was kind of making me think of like Sixth Sense as well, the movie with what's his name now? Oh my goodness, I can't remember his name. He's a really famous actor. He's in one of my favorite Christmas movies, Die Hard. Bruce Willis, there we go. I pulled it through. I pulled the name through. So it could be that you're doing something about like clairvoyance, and trying to pull something through from like the other side. This could be a factor for you. But it's like, it has this feeling of like the person on the other side, like not being able to be heard, or not being able to like, I don't know. How I was talking about Sixth Sense, it's almost like, and again, massive spoiler because there's a big twist in that movie, but it's an old movie. So if you haven't seen it and I spoil it for you, I don't know, maybe pause and go and watch it before you continue this reading. But big spoiler, he's dead, right? But he doesn't know he's dead. And then the kid is like, I see dead people, like staring right at him. So I don't know, it's like that, right? It's like, I don't know, like being able to see or hear, like clairvoyancy. I don't know, moving swiftly on. This kind of is rolling over from Cancer's reading in a funny way, because Cancer had this thing about reading minds. It was like, I can't read your mind, and it's a kind of magic, I can't read your mind. And I was sat on the bus with my eldest, and they suddenly started going, I think I can read minds. Like, I was talking about it with my friends in school, and I can read their minds. I can like finish the sentences. I know what they're thinking. And I said, right, what am I thinking then? And I just thought cheese. And I was picturing a big piece of cheese. And I was like, cheese, 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 cheese. And they were like, cheeseburger. And I was like, well, not the burger, but yeah, the cheese. It's like the first thing they said was cheese. And I was like, you can read my mind. And I said, that's really weird, because I was talking about that in my Cancer reading, being able to read minds. And then they randomly started saying something about I've got this Queen song stuck in my head. And I was like, Cancer had 2 Queen songs. And I even turned around to them and said, have you watched my video? They weren't in the house when I recorded it, and they're not really interested in watching my videos. It's like, mum. I was like, are you winding me up? Have you watched my video? Because there were 2 Queen songs in that video. So yeah, it feels like this is a running continuous theme throughout the readings, this idea of like reading minds or clairvoyancy or something like this. So apples, apples are coming through for you. And it took me a while they were coming through a lot yesterday, and I kept on thinking, apples, I really want an apple. God, I'm craving an apple. I really want an apple. And sometimes my guides will do this where they'll get me to eat something that I need nutritionally. It happens a lot because like I have acne, and selenium is really good for your skin. So sometimes when I'm like, I've got acne, they're like mushrooms, which contain selenium. So yeah, I keep on getting like apples. And then I was thinking about this. I was like, I think apples is coming through for Leo. And I was on the bus and I looked out the window, and there was a shop called Apple. It wasn't like an Apple store, like the tech store. It was just like a local shop, but it was called Apple. And I was like, how strange. Like, I'm thinking of apples and then I'm seeing apples. And then I randomly started thinking about an acquaintance called Martin. And then I kept on seeing the name Martin. Like everywhere I looked, there were all these shops called Martin. So, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. Are they giving me, because I was like, Apple Martin, isn't that like Gwyneth Paltrow, and is it like Chris Martin's kid? Aren't they called Apple Martin? So I did Google it, and yes, they are called Apple Martin. They look like they're about to be, they're 19, so they're starting their career. So I don't know, there could be something about Apple Martin, Gwyneth Paltrow's kid, in the news. I don't know. Like they're in the news, right? They're a kid of a celebrity, but maybe there's something specific about them. I don't know. They could also be something about like apple martinis. Maybe somebody's drinking apple martinis. I don't know. Coldplay has been coming through quite a lot this week, though. Where am I going with this? The song Man on the Moon, I can't remember who it's by. I want to say it's by Bruno Mars, but I'm not 100% sure on that because I do have like covers of it as well on my phone. So like, but it's that, I met the man on the moon, on the moon. Oh, Chummy's rumbling. Sorry guys. I heard him say, it's like there's a mirror in the sky. So again, that thing about a mirror coming back. There's a mirror in the sky. Will be okay. So it's like the man on the moon is saying we'll be okay. So I don't know if this is relevant to you in some sort of way, because this song keeps on coming on. So the idea of a man on the moon. But then the really weird thing is, so you're getting man on the moon, and you've got the cards here. If I pull from my own deck, you've got the black hole and the deep sea astronaut. So the deep sea astronaut is kind of like going to like the deep sea, right? Also the black hole. It's like going to where no man's been before. It's like going to the far reaches of the edges of discovery, where other people can't go. It talks about, like, I guess in this context, I suppose it's talking about a unique experience, something that not many people get to experience in their lifetime. But also, like, the idea of the deep sea astronaut is like going deep into your own psyche, going deep into your own feelings and your emotions and your memories, like diving deep internally and emotionally. So take whatever you want from that. But with the wreath symbolizes success, like being cheered on, being recognized for this. So it's kind of like, the astronaut goes into the black hole and comes back out, and then everybody's like, wow, you did it. Which obviously I don't think every Leo is going to have that experience, but it's probably symbolic for something that's going on. Or maybe, again, sometimes it's just like TV shows you're watching and things like that. I have to say, at the end of Cancer's reading as well, I was like shocked because I was getting all this stuff through, and at the end of the reading I had a notification on my phone. I was like, oh my god, that's it. But apparently this is like known, like the thing that was in Cancer's reading, it's been known for like about a month. I completely missed it. I don't tend to watch the news because I have thoughts and feelings about okay, I'm going to say this because it's actually tying into something else that I've got for you. So, obviously, different news channels have different agendas. They're owned by different people. They get the money from different sources. Sometimes they're government controlled. Sometimes they're, tied to a politician who's like a donor. I think, a lot of news and media, and not just news, but media in general, has an agenda. So this was kind of coming through actually because they wanted to talk to you about again with this idea of like mirrors and a hall of mirrors. I was kind of seeing multiple halls of mirrors. It was making me think of Versailles, and Versailles made me think of a bit of a controversy going on at the moment with an influencer called Haley Bailey, who I really like, and she's privileged. She's doing a lot better than I am. She has a big, nice New York apartment. She goes to a lot of fancy events. She's a very successful influencer. She has a privileged life that not many people get to have, but she sees herself as like a normal girl, and to a lot of the extent she is. She's very, very relatable, and she has that lovely kind of some people have that kind of relatability where it's like they can be a little bit vulnerable, or they can talk a little bit about themselves, and you feel like this person could be your best friend. She has that kind of this girl could be my best friend energy. So I like her, but she's got this controversy at the moment because she was at the Met Gala and she was dressed as reminiscent of Marie Antoinette, and she says let them eat cake. And obviously at the time that she's doing this and having a very privileged experience that not many people get to have in their lifetime, there's atrocities going on in the world, and people are feeling very, very highly emotional about that, and very angry about that, and very frustrated that that is happening when the global population as a whole seems to disagree with it. It's like, why is that still happening? So obviously that's a very complicated issue that I am not going to get into right now because it's highly emotive, and this isn't the appropriate place for me to discuss that, which again leads me back around to the idea of like influencers. Like, why is the pressure on social media influencers who blog about fashion or makeup or do comedy skits or play computer games or whatever it is that people are doing? Why is there so much pressure on influencers to speak about something that they are a human being? They may not fully understand it themselves. They may not feel like they've got the full information to make to say something, or they might be scared of saying something and having a backlash. It's like, stop putting the pressure on influencers who are just people, and start directing your anger at the people who can make a difference in the world, right? It's like, direct your anger appropriately. And you might say that some influencers can make a difference, and some certainly do. I've been retweeting people who are raising money for certain things because they are doing a great job where they are able to raise a significant amount of money to be able to help. But again, it should be a personal choice, and it shouldn't be something that people are bullied into, because again, it's a very complicated situation, and people don't feel like they're the authority to talk about it. So I don't like that. I don't like the bullying of people who are not the people responsible for what's happening. It's like it's misdirection. And conspiracy time, guys, put your tinfoil hats on. So if you actually watch Haley Bailey's apology video, she was just stupid, right? She just didn't think. She was just caught up in a really exciting moment that she'd always dreamed of going to the Met Gala. And if you actually listen to what she says, she's not one of these like A-lister celebrities who who have paid £75,000 for a ticket to go. She was and who are personally hand selected by Anna Wintour and all this kind of stuff. She didn't even go to the Met Gala. The Met Gala itself, she wasn't invited to that event. All she did was she was interviewing people on the red carpet who were on their way there, right? And she didn't get paid for it. So you've got this influencer who edits her own videos, who was not paid but still did a job at a big ceremony where they were, the tickets were being sold for £75,000. It's like, why aren't they paying her to do these interviews? I don't know. I think the blame is on Condé Nast here for profiting off something. And I wonder if they threw her under the bus a little bit with this, because Anna Wintour, who chose the theme of the event, specifically chose this theme of, it's a book and it's about a couple who oh, you can look it up, look into it. Again, I'm not an expert on this subject, but I think the theme itself was specifically chosen to be provoking, to be on topic, and to, with a self-awareness of the contrast of this very, very privileged 1% lifestyle of people who can afford to pay £75,000 for a ticket to go to this extremely astronomically ridiculous event, and which that I enjoy. I like fashion. I'll watch it and go, oh, I like that dress. Oh, what are they wearing? That's a weird choice. Hey, he's dressed as a cat, you know. But I don't know. It's just very strange. And then it's almost like misdirection, right? It's almost like draw the fire away from the people with real power, with who can use money and propaganda, to this individual girl who doesn't have a big business behind her, who doesn't have corporate lawyers behind her, who's just a girl making comedy videos on the internet, right? So are we directing our anger at the real people? And I also know that the Met Gala, look, from other people who've been there, like there's a guy who was a model, and he's basically, his job is to look pretty and be kind of like an errand boy for a certain celebrity. So he was like an errand boy for, I don't know, one of the Kardashians. Who can tell the difference these days? And I flicked my hair when I said that. So for one of the Kardashians, and he was like paired with her, and he was like running around, you know, like if she wanted a glass of wine, he'd run and get her a glass of wine. And basically his job was just, if he got caught in the background of a photo, to make that event look more beautiful, because he was an attractive, objectively speaking, man. So he talked about this event and going to this event, and then he got cancelled. He wasn't invited back this year, and so he's like, I can't talk fully about it because I signed an NDA. So these people who are basically being taken advantage of by these big businesses, but who are, because they're like, it's like the thing about influencers being relatable, right? They are popular because they're relatable, because they feel like they have that best friend energy. So when you get angry, you know, something like Condé Nast, the publication, it doesn't feel like, you know, that's not a face, it's a business. So, you know, people don't get angry at that person in the way that they do in the comments of TikTok videos. So it's just a strange thing where I feel like, you know, the people at the top who really can influence things are getting away with it, again, because of this misdirection and the drawing of the fire onto, you know, random celebrity influencers. I don't know, it's just something to think about, and it's something that's kind of coming through in your reading. So I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you what has been coming through. But also you've got the song Bastards by Kesha, which again is making me think of that whole situation. I don't know how you feel about this or what side of the fence you're on with this, but it's kind of making me think of like The Handmaid's Tale as well, like no lighty te bastardes corporum dorum, because she says, don't let the bastards get you down. And so Handmaid's Tale also came through, I think, for Cancer. So I don't know, do we want to live in, oh, it's like if you've watched Handmaid's Tale and you know, like the early stages of like it starts to happen and then people don't do anything about it until it's too late. I don't know. But she says as well in that song, she's like, people are going to talk shit. People are going to talk shit. You're going to have the mean girls. Don't let the bastards get you down. Keep doing the stuff that makes you happy. Live your life authentically. Live yourself. Live your life by what does Leo want, or whatever sign you are. What does the viewer want? And don't live your life for other people. You don't have to be a mouthpiece for what other people want you to say. You know, you can be yourself authentically. I think that's really important. Because, you know, if you say you're trying to impress a big business and you're saying what the business wants you to say, that might be your income, right? That might be how you earn your money, and you might be self-employed, so you don't have like all the benefits that come from being employed by a big business. You have to pay your own maternity leave and stuff like that if you're self-employed. But yeah, so the fear of speaking out, the fear of saying the wrong thing, where I think actually, like, say the wrong thing. Isn't that a TikTok trend where she's like, say the weird thing? It's like, say the wrong thing, start a debate, get people talking, bounce ideas around, but don't tell people what they should or shouldn't say, because you don't have any fucking right to do that, right? Say what you want to say, but don't tell other people what to say. You do not have the right. And if you think you have the right to tell someone else what to say, that's a big problem. And I have a big problem with that, because that's impacting on someone else's freedom of speech. Sorry, I don't know why I'm ranting so much about this. It's something about the energy. Let's move to a different subject completely. Summon a fey creature. So one of the things I saw for you was if you play Baldur's Gate like me, there's like a little icon which is a spell. You click on it and you can summon a fey creature. You're summoning fey creatures. I don't know. Another song you got was Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, and it was making me think of samples, because I listened to it and at first I thought it was it's like a Beyonce song. What's the band that Beyonce was in? Destiny's Child. Where it's like, Shell, can you handle this? Beyonce, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this. And it's got that like, and it sounded like that to me. And then it also, there's a bit in it that sounds like a Lana Del Rey song as well, like something that Lana Del Rey kind of says in one of hers. So it's making me think of samples, like music samples, when you get an artist and they sample music of another artist and like do, recreate the song. And I guess licensing with that as well, that could be a thing, music licensing, sampling. Also, maybe sampling apple martinis, I don't know. Giving away free samples, that's again another like influencer thing. Okay, I think that's all my notes. Oh, and an acorn. I saw an acorn. So acorns, like the things that squirrels bury, could be talking about save your money. Acorns. I can't say the word acorn. Maybe he's trying to get me to say Akon, the rapper. So acorns, you bury them right, and you save them, and you can either dig them up and eat them in the winter, or they can grow into a big oak tree, which is going to give you many, many more acorns in the future. So this could be talking about, like, I think it's making me think of let them eat cake again. It's like, do you want to spend your money on a cake now, or do you want to save your money and own a bakery in the future? I don't know. Make of that what you will. Oh, these readings. Okay, I am going to pause. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to light a joss stick, and we're going to get into the cards. Okay, maybe that song I Met the Man on the Moon. Maybe there's something about meeting somebody who's very influential. So maybe there's something about like going to a specific event and, somebody being there who is, somebody with a lot of power and influence, and being like, oh, I spoke to that person. They said everything's going to be okay. I met the man on the moon. Like this idea of like people being from a different planet, like wealth making you feel like you're from a different planet. Also, by the way, I don't know anything. I am but a girl. So this is all just like random opinions and thoughts. I am not saying anything with any knowledge of anything. So yeah, I don't know. I've never worked for Condé Nast. I don't know anyone who works for Condé Nast. I don't know Anna Wintour personally. I don't know what their agenda is. I tried to Google it, didn't get very much information. There's an alarm going, make of that what you will. But just random thoughts from a random brain. I don't know. I don't know the situation. I just have theories, and that's all it is, right? No evidence, just theories. Don't take anything I say as literal fact or information. Which again, like, look at where you're getting your information sources from. Like, I went to uni, right? If I was going to say something in an essay, I would have to credit my source. I would have to be like, this is the essay where I got my information from, or this is the specific reference to a classical text where I got the probably secondhand information, because it was probably like someone like Suetonius, right in 200 years after whatever it happened. So like, it's always like, where are you getting your information from, and is that information legit? So I don't know for a fact that people are paying £75,000 for a ticket to go to this event, right? I don't know that. I didn't go to the event. I didn't pay that money. This is just something that's going around on the internet that I heard, right? That I am repeating. I don't know it for a fact. So again, disclaimer, I know nothing. I am an idiot. Go and fact check information before, you know, giving anything any weight. But people don't, right? Because I don't know. And that's, I think, the thing about like why it's so scary to talk about anything, because you get to this point where you're like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's, like, like years ago, there was that thing of like, atrocities happening or like bad stuff, like, videos, and people would be like, here's a video of that thing happening, and people would be like, no, that's actually footage from this other thing, and it kind of muddied the waters, and you got to this point where you were like, I don't know what to believe in anymore. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what is a legitimate source anymore, so, being scared of saying the wrong thing, being scared of backing the wrong person, or it's, but maybe there's an intentional choice to do that. Like maybe this is, people creating intentional confusion so that people don't know what to think, so that they don't know where to stand. I think we're in a very, very complicated era that we've not been in before, because we haven't had this kind of technology in the past. And while things can seem very legitimate, I don't know. I mean, I know, talking to like people I know, like literally, like, I know somebody who lives in that area, and I know that they have spoken about certain things that have been happening, right? And that is like, for like it's still not a first-hand account. Like, I haven't personally experienced that, but I trust the person I've spoken to, that their source is legit, right? This is a normal person having lived experience. So I don't know. I hope this is coming through in the way it's intended, because maybe you have very, very fixed opinions, and you have made up your mind, and you know what you want, and you know what you're going to do. But you may be dealing with people who are very, very confused, or it could be vice versa, right? You could be feeling very confused and have someone who's got a very fixed mindset and who feels quite clear, but you have your own doubts, right? And it's like, we can convince, we can persuade, we can give people evidence, but we can't choose for other people. We can't tell people what to think, because that's a dangerous territory, right, for everybody. Okay, I'm going to randomize you a song. What do we have for Leo, please? Having said that, I did say that we were going into a time of revolution because Pluto's in Aquarius. I've been saying this, right? I've been saying this since I started doing tarot readings. I was like, Pluto in Capricorn, it's going to be this time of like, authority and governments and money, and then it'll shift into Aquarius, and then, everything's like that is going to be questioned. We're going to have riots. We're going to have, civil uprisings. It's what Pluto does in Aquarius. So, and Pluto is now in Aquarius, and we're seeing it, right? People are questioning the authority that we've existed with for so many years while Pluto's been in Capricorn. So everything that I said was going to happen is happening, basically, is what I'm saying. And it's predictable, and you can see it. And even if you don't believe in astrology, and you don't believe it, that the planets being in a certain sign has this kind of global impact and influence, look at history. Look at what happens when the 1% gets too greedy. Look at Marie Antoinette, right? Look at what happens when, I always say that if I was, see, it's funny, you've got Call the Shots, by the way, your song is Call the Shots by Girls Aloud. If I was in charge, if I was running the country, if I was in government, like, the most obvious rule to keep your position, right, to keep that chair, to keep that throne, is make people comfortable. Because if people get too uncomfortable, when people don't have anything to lose, they're going to riot. So if people are starving, if people are worried about the kids, the survival of the kids, if people are desperate and scared, they're gonna do desperate things. So if you want a stable throne, if you want your authority to be solid, keep people comfortable, give them things that they don't want to lose, right? Because if you've got people who are comfortable and they've got things to lose, they're not going to do those risky things to risk losing it as freely as a society, as a collective. So, you know, the government for a long time have been, generally speaking, and this is like a global kind of thing, a lot of governments have been, you know, the countries are, you know, people are using food banks, people are, the wage increases are not going up as fast as inflation, you know, people are struggling to pay for their housing. So that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom of the pyramid is not stable. And so, you know, because our government hasn't been doing right by us, the seesaw only goes so far in that one direction until it springs back. So even if you don't believe in astrology, if you just look at human behavior and history, and you just have a general sense of, oh, let's try and predict what will happen based on very little brain power, you know, you can see where the pendulum's going to swing next. I don't know why people are shocked. I don't know why people are shocked that AI is taking over the tech industry, and, you know, video game companies are firing employees left, right, and center because AI is doing the job for them. It was obvious. We all saw it coming. Why are we shocked, right? So, I don't know. Call the shots by Girls Aloud. So maybe, Leo, you're being asked to step up, call the shots. Maybe you can do a better job than whoever's doing the job before you, right? Maybe you're going to be the boss of a company. Maybe you're just going to step up and say, girls are allowed now in this club. Girls weren't allowed before, but now they're allowed now. I don't know. Oh, your reading's stressing me out. It's hard being a Leo. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life. Where's my Mr. Moneybags, right? What's his name? Is he Moneybags? The guy who adopts Annie and, like, she's like suddenly rich. What's that? I don't know the background. Like, what's his business? What's his whole deal in that movie? That could be something relevant as well. Who is Leo's guardian angel at the moment? Who is helping Leo out in spirit? Persephone. Told you were speaking to the dead. Persephone, queen of the underworld, wife of Hades. Yeah, she is actually, if you look at the High Priestess card, and the High Priestess card is being able to, you know, symbolically on the back of the High Priestess card, there's pomegranate seeds, because it's this idea of being able to, she's one of the very, very few characters in Greek mythology or Roman mythology, if you want to look at kind of her equivalent, who can go freely in and out of the underworld. Not many people who go to the underworld can freely come back out again. Like, if you look at Plato's myth of there is this concept of rebirth or reincarnation through that. But yeah, generally speaking, Persephone, she it's not entirely freely, right? It's kind of contracted, but she goes and spends between 3 and 6 months of the year, depending on which version of the myth, with her husband Hades in the underworld, and then she spends the rest of the year up with her mother on the land, right? And this is why we have spring and summer in the seasons. So yeah, this idea of being able to switch between two different planes, to be here and to be there, right? On the card it says youth, innocence, and rebirth. So she is a goddess of springtime, again, because when she returns to the earth, her mother rejoices and the flowers start to grow again. When she goes below the earth, when she goes to Hades, Hades is a place and a person, by the way, just throwing that out there. When she goes back to Hades, her mother grieves and the leaves fall from the trees and we have winter. So yeah, spring and rebirth and vitality and youth and fresh things coming through. This guy's Leo energy for me. I don't know, he reminds me of my dad when my dad was like going through his like hippie phase. Oh my god, talking about things like that, I found this picture of the Grateful Dead, you know, the band the Grateful Dead, and this one guy in it looked the spitting image of my dad. It was like my dad was in this picture of this rock band. I was like, I didn't know my dad was in a rock band. He looked the same as him. But anyway, so like this guy, he gives Leo energy, Archangel Uriel, illumination, inner power, and ideas into form. So I do think that Spirit is here to help you spring into something new, to have a fresh start in some sort of way, or to cultivate an idea, right? To make that acorn seed grow into something that's big and something that is profitable. So I do feel like maybe there is some kind of like investment coming up for you, sort of like an Ace of Pentacles. Now this could be money or it could be time, but it's like, what are you going to do with this investment? What are you going to do with this single acorn? Are you going to cultivate it? Are you going to use this as a springboard to create, you know, your ideas into form? What do you want to do? What does Leo want to do? So yeah, cool that your spirit guide is helping you with that. If I feel a little bit doubt, if I'm extra kind of today, I'm not feeling very well. My eldest has been poorly, just a bug, but I think, you know, it's like 2-3 days later now, and I think I might be coming down with the same thing. What is Spirit helping Leo with? Give me more of the nature of Spirit at this time for Leo. Tell me more about Leo. Anything else for Leo? There might not be anything from this deck, guys. I might just have to move on. Anything else for Leo? Let's split the deck and try again. Hang on. Okay, last try. Does this deck want to speak anything for Leo? I feel like this is a very feminine deck, and I kind of knew when I was picking it that it was too feminine for the energy that was wanting to come through. It's actually 3 decks in one. It's the Starseed Oracle, the Rose Oracle, and the Light Seekers Oracle. Let's try this deck. Oh, there we go. Voice. Yeah, what does Leo want? Speak up. Speak your word. Don't be afraid of speaking your word. Again, going back to that Bastard song by Kesha, people are going to talk shit, right? The haters are going to hate. Haters going to hate. So, yeah, say what you want to say. There's the mirror. There's the mirror. Told you. Self-reflection. Discernment and will. And there's the veil parting. So there is something about, I want to say, like, hang on, let me just make sure anything else wants to come out. Deck's being weird. There we go. Oh, so spiders again. Tarantula. So the tarantula did come through for another sign this week. Was it Cancer? I think it was. It was this idea of something waiting to catch you. So the tarantula in this deck actually talks about connectivity. And again, that's the thing I was saying about a friend of a friend lives in the place that's affected in the news at the moment. Again, I'm avoiding saying too much and getting specifically into that topic, even though I keep doing it, because it is such a hot topic and it's not what I want this reading to specifically be about. It's not the focus of the reading. So I'm trying to do a personal reading for the people watching. Also, you have got 1313 there. So make that what you will. 2 4s. So 2 4s talks about it's almost like 2 homes, 2 spaces of stability. Speaking your words, self-reflection. So saying something, reflecting on that, perhaps learning to be more discerning in how you go about your business, how you get your will done. And then correct connection, like a friend of a friend, like it's kind of like degrees of separation, right? It's there could be someone who could help you out, right? If you just maybe speak to the people that you know, the people that you're friendly with, they might be put you in touch with somebody else. But also this thing about like the veil parting, it's almost like something's been fogging up your mind, or something's been clouding your vision. And now I feel like it's almost like the veil is lifting. Like you're going to see something more clearly. This is it's almost like she's eating, like, you know, like I was saying about eating apples. It's almost like she's eating a golden apple. But she has it in her hand here, right? She has it here. And then it's like she's lifting it up and eating it. And then she can and then the veil parts. Is there some confusion about your reflection? It's so funny because it feels like it's a tie into Cancer's reading, because Cancer had this like the swan energy, like the swan in the mirror. And then like the ugly duckling not knowing that it's a swan, and it had to look in the mirror and see itself clearly. But she's got her eyes closed. She's not seeing herself clearly. Because it's not about how you look, it's about what you say, right? It's about what you're saying. So there could be something where somebody's getting distracted by the way someone looks or the way someone presents. But it's important to close your eyes and listen to your voice. Or it's important for you to say something without being seen. Or even just close your eyes when you say this thing, just close your eyes and say it, right? Don't look at the reaction. Sort of makes me think of, I once went up on stage and it was like a holiday park or something. It wasn't like a big production or anything, but it's like karaoke or something like that. And I got on stage and I kind of had stage fright. I was only young. I was maybe about 9. Because once I got up on the stage, the lights were so blinding. They were directly in my face and I couldn't see anything, right? It's like all the light was on me and I couldn't see the crowd and I couldn't see the reaction and I couldn't see my mum. And it was just, I just felt like the deer in the headlights, right? I just felt like really uncomfortable. And really vulnerable because I couldn't see the people who could see me. And so I think that maybe is something about Leo's ego. So when I talk about the ego, I talk about the persona. I don't think that you're big-headed. I don't think that you are I actually find Leos to be incredibly self-aware in a painful way, because Leos, by the nature of the sign, and again, it does depend on your full birth chart how much you feel this, but the nature of Leo energy by itself is to have the spotlight on them. It is to be the center of attention. It is to feel like you're the loudest voice in the room, because it's this big bombastic energy. It's like the sun, right? All the other planets revolve around the sun, and the sun rules Leo. So this idea of like Leos constantly feeling like they have the spotlight on them and constantly feel like, every time they're out in public that it's some kind of performance. They have to make people laugh. They have to, and they're so good at it. Like Leos always light up the room. I love Leos. They've just always come in with this like good, it's almost like golden retriever energy, like funny. Everybody smiles when the Leo walks in the room. So unless Leo's having a grumpy day, in which case everybody's having a grumpy day. And like Scorpios are the same. So yeah, like Leos, when they switch on that charm, they have a big impact on the people around them, and it's whether they want to or not, right? There's just something about being a Leo where it's kind of like everybody's looking at you, everybody's paying attention to what you do. It's like you're under a microscope. So yeah, if you're having a charming day and everybody loves you, you'd feel like that confidence. But if you're having not a great day or you're tired and you don't want to put on that show for people, you do feel very like you're being picked over, right? Like you're on social media and everybody's criticizing your appearance. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, I think you have to come back to you. And it could be that you're on social media and everybody's like, you should cut your hair, you should dye your hair red, you should dye your hair blonde, because everybody's got an opinion, right? But it's your hair. What do you want to do? So I feel like you could be feeling very trapped by your audience. You could be feeling very trapped by your friends, your social circle, whatever this is, like the eyes on you. Even if it's just going to the shop for a bottle of milk, right? It's like you can't go out in your pajamas. You've got to brush your hair. Maybe you want to put a bit of makeup on. You want to put the sunglasses on to cover up those eye bags. It's and then everything becomes a mission because you're so worried about what everybody thinks of you. Maybe you're not like this at all. Maybe you're like, I don't care. I mean, my dad was he put on this show of kind of being very bold, but he was quite sensitive about, what he was saying was going to be received, or you know he'd get a little bit embarrassed if someone was a bit too loud, or if somebody hurt somebody's feelings, he'd feel it. So that kind of social um, empathy as well, and social awareness, if other people are kind of saying things that are a bit off, could be quite difficult. My dad had this thing about, I don't know why I'm talking about my dad, he was a Leo, about Leos can sometimes have quite a good sense of like high honor, and again, it depends on your full placements and where the positions are in your chart, but sometimes the idea of kind of being very respectful and doing the right thing can be important to Leos, or being seen to do the right thing, or being seen to say the right thing. Maybe there's something coming through about Leo, like the more challenged placements, so Leo, North Node, South Node, Lilith. The idea of kind of like doing something that goes against social rules could be very, very scary. The idea of rebelling, the idea of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, or, having criticism or a bad reaction could be very difficult to deal with if you've got those placements. And it's a trap, especially if it's kind of like your Lilith or something like that. It's this trap of social expectation, of meeting the social expectations, and the fear of not meeting those social expectations can be really, really strong. But then there's freedom, right? Because they're challenge placements. It's like, how do we face this fear? So how do we embrace saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, or how do we evolve into someone who doesn't care if the social media is a bad reaction, if you get bad comments, how do you rise above that? So do check out your full chart, and definitely kind of North, South Node and Lilith, if that is a challenge for you. Okay, I'm going to see what this is, but I didn't know if it wanted to come out. What card is that? That's the Hermit card. Maybe this is something about your social battery. Again, this constant feeling of like, if you're going out and you're socializing and you feel like you're under kind of like a microscope all the time, the spotlight's on you. Every single move you make, every single gesture, every word you say, every step you take. And it's funny because I was thinking about, maybe that song's relevant because I was thinking about it before when I was talking about samples, because that song samples, there's the original song, isn't there? Is it by like Sting or The Police? Every step you take, every move you make. And then it got sampled by, who was it now? It was like when a rapper died, wasn't it? And it was like, it's kind of hard when you're not around. Know you're in heaven, smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. That one. So that song sampled the other song. So I was thinking about it earlier, and now you're getting it, right? Like, every step you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. I loved that song until someone called it the Stalker song, and then I was like, you've ruined that song for me now. Like, I liked it, and now you've ruined it. That's too many cards. Okay, past, I'm going emotions, thoughts, and action space, past, present, future for you. Past emotions. Every step you take. Makes me think of Baby Reindeer now. Have you seen that TV show? It's an odd one. There's something not right about it. And I don't mean like the subject matter itself. There's something not right about it. Was like watching it, something didn't sit right with me. And I think maybe because we didn't have her perspective, because clearly if that was based on a true story, and I'm not even sure if it was or if it just said it was, and again, I'm not kind of victim blaming or kind of making excuses or anything like that. But I would have really, really have liked to have heard her point of view, because clearly if we'd just taken that TV show at face value, she didn't have very good mental health, and she clearly needed some intervention. And it would have just been interesting to, and I think he was very self-aware, like he was very self-aware about like where he'd led her on, and like where he'd what he could have done better in that situation. And again, not victim blaming, I'm just saying whenever two people are interacting, there's always a little bit of you know, the social interaction is there, and we make choices, and we make choices on both sides. And, you know, not without victim blaming, sometimes we can look at ourselves and say, huh, I wish I'd made a different choice. Like, I think you understand what I'm saying. So, and again, I think he had almost like a painful self-awareness of that. But yeah, I would have really liked to have seen it from her perspective, and just understood her mind a little bit better. Okay. Past emotions, please. Past emotions, please. Past emotions. Okay, do some healings, taking some time. Again, hermit mode, like similar energy. Emotional healing, taking some time. 8 of Cups. Definitely the sense of something missing, like not feeling fulfilled, like feeling unsatisfied. Like there's something, that sense of something more, or I want something, but I don't know what I want. Do you ever do that? I call it hark. Like, you know, sometimes you want to eat something or you want to drink something, but you don't know what that thing is. You just know that it's going to give you that sensation of like hark when you have it. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, I know I want something, but I don't know what I want. I just want hark. And I say, I want hark. Like, I want something that's going to hit the right spot, but I don't know what that thing is. And so feeling like that, feeling like getting to a point where you feel healed to a certain extent, like emotionally, you know, understanding that you need some time. Maybe it's that feeling of like, I need time to figure out what I want. Which again, if there is some kind of breakup that's happened, you know, if somebody needed space, it's like there's something that's not satisfying me. So I need the space to just be alone and think and figure out what that is for myself and feel my way through it, because something isn't right and I don't know what that thing is. So coming back around to that. Past thoughts, please. Past thoughts for Leo. I'm really getting pulled to pull the other side of the cards for you, like the other side of the situation, which is maybe why you're here, right? This idea of kind of like looking at someone through glass and not being able to understand their perspective seems to be coming through again, which I kind of talked about at the beginning of the reading, because you're thinking about something where you've had to say goodbye. You're thinking about something that, this is the grief card, the 5 of Cups. It's like the spilt milk card. So it's like you're looking at that, you're looking at the thing that didn't work out, or the thing that was wrong, or the thing that you had to say goodbye to, or the thing that made you feel some sort of grief. And you're not quite seeing that there's 2 cups still standing, because you're so, yeah, especially with the 8 of Cups there as well. Can you see like she's got her back to all these cups? So it's like you're not valuing what you did have, because you're focusing your attention on the thing that didn't work out, or the thing that was spilt. So it's like not valuing what you have because you're too busy pining for what you don't have. So it could be something like, you know, having a house, having a good job, having great kids, you know, having enough money to put, I mean, I don't know your personal situation, so maybe you don't have these specific things, but as an example, you know, having food on the table, you know, and thinking something's missing because, you know, that friend is, you know, I fell out with that friend, so I can't go to the pub with that friend anymore. And so everything else feels like not satisfying because I don't have that one thing that kind of, it's like getting a cake, but it's not got its cherry on it. And so you're like, it's not going to be as satisfying now because it doesn't have the cherry on it. Maybe you don't like cherries, but again, like maybe it's kind of like you've always wanted a Porsche. You've always wanted a Porsche 911 with a spoiler, convertible in red, and then you get it in blue and you're like, ugh, but it's not what I wanted. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying you spoil or anything like that. It's just this sense of, it's not quite scratching that itch, right? It's not quite the thing. And that's okay. We're allowed to feel unsatisfied. We're allowed to feel like there's something more out there. That's what moves us, that's what keeps us driving forward. And so what were you doing about this? What was going on in your action space? Three of Swords and Seven of Swords. So this feeling, Three of Swords is like pain. Like, I'm hurt. I am feeling emotional pain about this. I am not happy. My heart hurts. My soul hurts. But then the Seven of Swords is and these are your cards, right? So if you can flip it and reverse it if you want. Maybe you're a cross watcher, but I'm reading for the Leo energy here. So this is showing me that there is some sneakiness. There is some, I want to say, self-sabotage here with the Seven of Swords. There is a sneaky behavior. It feels like you've got the most unbelievable blue eyes I've ever seen. The thing about this card that strikes me is that she's a ghost, right? She's not really there, so the rain isn't really hitting her anyway. And yet he's using his umbrella to protect her from the rain. But he doesn't need to do that. So maybe there's, sometimes you get into a relationship like that where it's like, so it's a little tiny fly. It's spring, the bugs are out. Let's leave it to do its own thing. So, like sometimes you get partners who are like overly attentive. And you're like, I didn't ask for you to do that. Sometimes like I love when someone opens the door for me. I think it's gentlemanly. I think it's nice. It's not a gendered thing for me. Like, if someone opens the door for me, I'm like, that's polite. That's nice. Thank you so much. I feel like a lady. It's like there's a good intention in the gesture. But sometimes it's like saying, I don't want you to open the door for me. I'm a strong, independent person. I want to open the door for myself. But that person keeps opening the door for you. And then it's almost like it's almost like a passive aggressive thing then, because it's like they're infantilizing you. Is that even a word? Like they're making you dependent and they're doing something that you didn't ask them to do. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't cook tea for me tonight. I know what I want. I know I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. I'm going to make that meal that like really satisfies me. And then it's like they make it for you and you're like, but I didn't ask you to do that. I told you I was going to make it. Do you see what I mean? It's almost like a weird microaggression or a passive aggressive thing. And maybe this person doesn't realize that they're doing this, right? Their intention is to protect you from the rain. They're holding the umbrella over you. But you didn't need them to or ask them to. And so it becomes a point of, but there's something, it's almost like gaslighting, isn't it? Especially with the Seven of Swords. I wonder if anyone's experiencing this. And I'm not saying you're doing it, but just, again, self-awareness, self-reflection, just in case you're doing this without realizing you're doing it. There's that thing of like, say you went to court, right? Say you went to court and you've had someone who's been doing this. It's like a gaslighting thing. It's like you've had someone who's been doing this to you, like all these like microaggressions. And then it's like you look like the bad person because it's like, well, I made them dinner, I made them their favorite meal and they got mad about it. Or, well, I opened the door for them and then they got grumpy about it. But it's like, but I told you I didn't want you to open the door and I told you I wanted to make the meal. So that it's like that person not listening and thinking they're the good person, but are they really the good person? Isn't that a funny thing to come through from those two cards? And so again, it could be like, a relationship where, because I did have that feeling of like somebody leaving and not explaining why. Have they explained why and someone's just not listened? Right? Has the writing been on the wall, but someone's painted over it because they wanted the wall to look like how they visualized the wall was going to look? Because that's a difficult thing, right? Communication is so important in relationships. And if somebody isn't listening and they're only seeing something from their point of view, from how they want something to be, and they think they're doing nice things, but they haven't listened, that's a big problem. Because they're not taking care of like what their partner needs, what they really need, right? And what they really need might be independence. It might be that they need to make their own food sometimes because they make it the way that they want to make it. But like, the other partner being like, taking that as an insult, like, oh, is my food not good enough for you? And it's like, no, I will, you know, I know I'll like it if I make it. So it's almost like this other partner's trying to make the person dependent or make them look like the bad guy. Like, isn't that a weird thing to come through? I wonder if this is if any of you, like, go ahead and just kind of like, or, you know, if you, I mean, maybe don't make a comment, because I just feel like, you know, I understand if you don't want to. What is that? What is that? Let's dive into that. What's that? So that is like, I don't want my partner to see my comment. If I comment on this video and say, yes, my partner's driving me nuts, he keeps on doing this, he, she, they keep doing this thing for me, and it's really irritating to me. But if I call them out on it, I'm going to look like the bad person. And then that partner sees that they've made that comment. It's going to be like a whole situation. That feels like not a good relationship. I'm going to be honest with you, if that's the situation. Oh, current emotions. Oh, that is double success. Okay, emotional success, like feeling successful. You've got the 6 of Wands, success, people cheering you on. There's the wreath. That is literally, there's normally a wreath on that card, because that's symbolic of, yay, you're having the victory parade. People are cheering for you. It's great. And then the Chariot as well, which same energy, right? It's like the Romans having the triumph, having the big parade, and everybody cheering them on. The Chariot card talks about the need to get control of a situation where you're being pulled in 2 different directions. Because when you master both of those energies that are kind of trying to pull, you know, trying to wrestle in their own direction, when you master them and you get them to both move in the same direction, then you have success, because you can move forward, right, without the kind of to and fro tug of war. So you're having some kind of emotional success here. Feels very close to Cancer's reading. Really, really does. I wonder if I've got a few kind of Cancer Leo cuspers, because they had this whole thing about like healing and having success with that. Yeah, that's really good. And then thoughts. Leo's current thoughts. Now I'm looking at this and being like, bye, bitch. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Good riddance to bad rubbish. I don't know, maybe some of you have had a breakup. What's this thing about holding something up? Especially the right hand. Because if you look here, he's holding up his right hand. He's holding up his right hand. He's holding up his right hand. And he's holding up his right hand. So what's the left hand doing, guys? It's just down by his side. But is it? Because he's got the 7 of Swords here. And it's some kind of sneaky behaviour. Bye. Pockets the keys. Thoughts? Yeah, ready for springtime, ready for the brand new start. That's the Fool card. Yeah, I'm gonna go and jump off this cliff, because I don't want to be on it anymore. I don't want to be on the cliff anymore. I'm gonna jump off the cliff and hope that wherever I land, it's a better situation. Don't jump off any cliffs. Knight of Swords. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. 7 of Pentacles. Hold your horses. Take your time. Queen of Swords. I like it. Come up with a plan. Come up with a strategy. Don't just leap off the cliff. Maybe go down 1 step at a time. Maybe climb down. Maybe plan your route. Knight of Cups. There's a sense of, I'm glad that the logic's coming in here, because this is very empowered. You've got the major arcana and the minor and the major arcana here of like the matching cards. There is basically the 6 of Wands is the minor arcana of the Chariot. So that's really big energy. Here, got a lot going on in your thoughts, because you're really fired up. There's a lot of fire energy, especially because you're starting with the Fool card. So there's this feeling of like, I'm ready for that fresh start. I'm just going to do it. But then the mind clicks in, because this is in your planning space, right? This is in the thoughts. So the mind is clicking in and it's going up a level. The mind's getting control over, excuse me, so sorry. The mind is getting control over this impulse, and you're coming up with a plan. It's like 1 step at a time, which I think is why you've got this strategy here, because again, Swords is always strategy. So there's something that you're, It's like it's all part of the plan. And then you move into Cups. So it's like you start with an impulse, you start with a gut feeling, you start with a reaction. Mind and gets in control of this, starts to come up with a plan. And then you move forward with clear emotions, because it's the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is very romantic though. Can wear rose tinted glasses. So what is the action space? You've got a lot going on. The Four of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. So it's saving money. I did talk about squirreling things away or saving money. And then there's something social here. You could be saving money for an event, like saving up for a party, saving up for a get-together. Or you could be, sometimes this is sitting on your finances. Because they kind of look like they're asking for money, don't they? Please, sir, can I have some more? And this is kind of like, I haven't got any more, sat on the bag of coins. I'm going to clarify that one. Emotions in the future. Future emotions for Leo. Future emotions for Leo. It's like you don't want me to say because you've got a plan. But we're going to find out because Spirit's never going to give the game away. Unless the game needs to be given away, right? This Spirit will tell people what they want to hear when they need to hear it. And if Spirit's supporting whatever this is, they're not going to out you here. But they're going to give the message in a way that you are going to, I'm just reassuring you, they're going to give you the message in the way that you need to hear it, or whoever is watching needs to hear it. I heard plan for the future and the Empress card came out. So, wife, mother, boss, divine feminine energy. This is the Queen of Queens, basically. She's all four queens in the tarot. She's very attractive. She really has it. She's having a good day, basically. She's got it all going on. She's got the kids to school on time. She's at the hairdresser appointment. She's on a phone to a mom, on a phone to a friend. You know, like she's going to pop to the supermarket. She's got a plan for tea. She's got all the bases covered. She's having a really good day. And it doesn't have to be female, by the way. Like, swap the gender around if you want to. But it's a very mothering energy. It's a very maternal energy. And even if it's not a mother, it's the person who nurtures. It's the person who leads, right? So it could be, and again, it can be an ongoing thing. You could always be the Empress, or this could be something that you step into when you need to step into it. So again, it could be you're the one planning for your friends to come around, you're the one who's being mother hen that day, and yeah, she's really got it going on, whatever she's up to up there. Planning for the future in your emotions. And the thoughts, very clear. Ace of Swords in your thoughts is very good. And then we go into the Two of, oh, is that the High Priestess card? That must be the High Priestess card, right? The number 2 in the tarot. Like, I should know. But the numbers are not my strong point. Yeah, it's the High Priestess. That is very knowing. You've got the 2 strongest feminine energies in the entire deck in your future, in your emotions and in your thoughts. The High Priestess is the one that can see beyond the veil. She is the Persephone, right? She is the this is the highest manifestation you can get of the feminine energy in its earthly form. I know it's a ghost on this card, but the Empress is the best you can get in terms of female embodiment. And then that's different for everybody, right? Different for every single individual in different circumstances. The High Priestess is beyond that. She's the spiritual feminine. So she is intuitive. She's very emotionally balanced. She's very knowledgeable. She can't always explain why she knows something. She just knows she knows it, right? It's kind of like trusting your gut or trusting those instincts. And this is a higher truth. This is a spiritual truth in your mind in the future. Spiritual truth in your mind in the future. I love that. The Empress and the High Priestess. Oh, is that flipped? Go on then. Which way around do you want that? Not clear. I don't know what card it is yet. It is in reverse. The Four of Cups in the reverse. You're not saying no anymore. You're not ignoring. Because the thing about the Four of Cups, if it was in the upright, it'd be kind of be going back to what this was, where it's kind of like you're not seeing the good thing, right? You're not seeing. This is like the cherry on the cake, right? This is the cake with the cherry being offered to you, but you're not being able to see it there. Now you see it because it's in the reverse. If it was in the upright, you'd be ignoring it, but in the reverse, you're not missing that opportunity. Not this time. And the Ace of Wands. Oh, very excited. Okay. Interesting, Leo. I don't know yet what I'm going to use as my confirmation deck. They're being a bit secretive with me. I'm just going to pause. I just need to kind of, tap into the energies and find out which deck I need to use, because there's a secrecy, which again with this High Priestess card here is interesting. I'm going to be back. Okay, here's where I get banned off the internet. I don't normally use this deck for readings because it has a lot of nakedness on it. I don't know what's going on with you, Leo, but I'm feeling tarot of sexual magic. So, nudity warning, there's boobies, there's some sexualized scenes in these cards. I can't really, and look at that, the Empress on they're the High Priestess. Isn't she like the combination of these two? Damn, you're looking fine, Leo. Like, you are looking good. You are looking hot. It's like the revenge dress kind of thing. It's making me think of that. Like, after a breakup, the best thing to do is just get on with your life and look good doing it. Like, make them wish they still had you. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. So you were healing. You were missing something. What were you missing immediately? Knight of Pentacles. Slow, steady progress and movement forward. You wanted a plan. You wanted the feeling of progression. You wanted the feeling of improvement. And that's what you were missing, right? You were missing maybe the support to continue making progress. So the bye bitch card, like the Five of Cups. In your thoughts, what were you saying goodbye to? Oh, okay, so a little bit of nudity. Knight of Wands and the Two of Swords. So that feels like you blocked somebody who was just in it for the woohoo, right? They were just there for, they were a bit in and out. They were all fire and no strategy. It's like it's like you're saying goodbye to the Knight of Wands. So this could be someone who you were very attracted to, or someone, if it's not a relationship, it's like someone who is really fun, right? Someone who you knew you were going to have a good time with, but they were not the staying kind. They were in and out. So the Two of Swords feels like blocking that, right? It's like turning a face away and saying, no, like I've learned that you're not sticking around. I need someone by my side. Cause see how like he's by her side, and there's that thing as well of like, I'm sorry, because it's like the booby card. Here he's like, get on my horse, and then he's like all over her. Where here he's like, I can see you walking independently. Here, have a lemon so that you can have a snack while you walk. It's something like, it's funny because you got this car here. It's like maybe this person, maybe you like walking, right? Maybe you like walking. I'm just thinking about a Leo who sometimes used to offer me a lift, but I was like, I like walking. Like there was we weren't in a relationship. They're like, they're a friend. They were being nice, but it's like, it wasn't like this situation, but it's just making me laugh because it was a Leo. Yeah, it's kind of like, this person being like, no, I'm going to give you a lift. Like, no, I don't want you to walk. I want to give you the lift. I want to, and you're like, but I'm walking because it makes me feel good. It makes me healthy. I like sticking like for me, it's like, I like sticking my headphones in. It gives me time to kind of wind down. And so, but this is the person who's like, it's like being pressured to have the lift. Where here it's like this person's just going, okay, you want to walk, that's fine. You know, stay safe, ring me when you get home. You know, I trust, you know, maybe that's the thing. It's like this person's too worried about you. So it's like, no, I'm going to drive you there. And you're like, I want to walk. So maybe it's not necessarily, I don't know, but then it's like you get in the car and then they're all over you. It's like they want something back because they gave you a lift. It feels really creepy, actually. Okay, so no, I like walking in the rain. You don't have to come with me. But here it's like, I don't, you know, like, it's the difference between like the person who's like, I will follow you and carry the umbrella even if you don't want me to. And this person's like, here, have an umbrella in case it rains. It's always like not letting you be independent. So it's like, I'm going to hide all the umbrellas. Right, hang on, what's going on with that? In the past. While he's looking for the umbrella, you sneak out. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, I'm going to take this. Oh, gosh. That's the Cancerian card, the moon. There is definitely something sneaky. A little bit sneaky. A little bit like by the light of the moon. Like under the cover of darkness there. I don't know. Your secret's the same for me, Leo. I'm not going to out you on the internet. I don't know what you're up to. The Six of Wands and the Chariot. So you're having some success, like emotional success. Like, yes, I did it. I made it. I'm being recognized. I'm being seen. Strength. Confidence is growing. There's the Empress as well. Like, I wrestled the bear. I chose the bear and I wrestled it. If you know the man and bear meme. Yeah, no, there's something about building confidence, building strength. I want to say building independence as well, with the Empress as well, like looking really good doing it. It could be that you're interested in an Empress as well. A very strong, confident person, because it is showing up as the person outside of you, but they could be in your heart, right? But yeah, this person is very confident. And then the Eight of Coins. It's like, again, she's like not interested. Like, he keeps coming with this rose and she's like, not interested. I mean, the Empress is going to have a lot of admirers. There's going to be a lot of people who are interested in pursuing a relationship with her because she's so strong and confident. So she gets to be a little bit more choosy, and she has to learn to say no as well. And she has to be able to say no confidently. You know, no, I value my independence. So, Eight of Pentacles. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my confidence. And I'm having success with that. Okay. In your thoughts, I want to know this Knight of Cups. Oh. Oh, so 10 of Wands and 3 of Swords. Has someone else had a breakup? 10 of Wands is like, I wonder if someone's caught someone. Right? I wonder if someone's caught someone. Or been caught. Or if there's a plan to be caught. That sort of feels a bit like... It's something like... you know, having an ex who won't accept that it's over until they see you with somebody new. It's like, if they see me out with someone, I don't want to say better because it doesn't feel like an appropriate word, but that could be the way someone's thinking. If someone sees me out with someone Like if my ex-girlfriend sees me out with the Empress, then she'll know it's really over because she can't compete with the Empress. There's something a bit shitty feeling about that. There's definitely this kind of strategy, this underhandedness or this plan, but sometimes it might just be like no means no, and this person keeps pursuing me, so I need them to see the I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna move on to here. What's this about? So this holding on to your money, and then this Three of Cups. What's the Three of Cups? Because there's 4 pentacles and there's 4 people technically, because there's 3 people here and there's 1 person, so technically everybody could have a pentacle. Oh, boobs again. This deck. So the 6 of Pentacles. So there is this thing about, hang on, I'm just going to look at these cards a second off camera, just checking for boobs. Right, Temperance and Justice. And it's 3 women. Like these 3 women. These 3 women want, there's the apples, an equal payout. They want something that's balanced, and they want something that's just, and they want something that's fair. Especially with justice there. So, honestly, Leo, it looks like the sneakiness is on your side. It looks like you're trying to hoard something when these people are like, but it's right and fair and just if we all get 1 pentacle each. And this is law, like the law. This is like what the law says, what's lawful, what's right, what's fair, what's just. Temperance is about balance and patience, and there's the swans as well. And it's like calm, patient, it's almost motherly. And then the 6 of Pentacles again is kind of like, again, you've got like the 6 of Wands with the Chariot card. The 6 of Wands is the minor arcana of the major arcana, and here you've got the 6 of Pentacles of the Justice card. It's kind of like, again, the minor arcana of the major arcana. They both have this thing about like balancing the scales, but I think I was talking in one of the other readings about, but having 1 each might not necessarily make equal. It's like, say you had £100,000, right? And you had 4 people to share it with. One person might have £1 million, and the other 3 people might not have any money at all. They might have £10 each in their bank accounts. So is it fair to give £25,000 to each of those people equally? Or should the person who's got £1 million be like, oh, it's okay, I won't take that money, you know, share the remaining £100,000 out between those 3 people? So an example of that would be, say, for example, a company. You work for a company and there's the money in the pot that's like the bonus money, right? And you've got the CEO who makes millions. There is something going on about CEOs at the moment. I keep getting, like, again, little snippets on social media of like, you know, a lot of backlash against CEOs taking big bonuses and then like laying off employees, especially in the tech industry. And what do CEOs really do? I don't know. They're not the people making the product, are they? Like if you had a company that was just CEOs and no actual workers, nothing would get done. But if you had a company that was all workers and no CEOs, it'd probably be highly productive. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't get it. Someone explain CEOs to me, because I don't really understand what they do or why they justify having so much money. But again, that's just me not understanding the situation. And, you know, maybe if somebody did explain it to me, it would make sense. But I'm not a CEO. I don't know any CEOs that I could just like have a random chat with to be like, hey, why exactly did you give yourself a $20 million bonus this year? Well, you fired, you know, an entire studio of workers. Like, explain that, make that make sense. But anyway, yeah, make it make sense. So yeah, it's like, is that right and fair though? So it's kind of like, a certain British lord literally got into the House of Lords because they were such a good businessman when they leached a pretty good company. They bought it out, changed it from a PLC to a limited company, leached it completely, and then didn't pay out pensions. So yeah, they just basically stole the pension fund. In the way that I understand it, again, I don't have the legal documents or the business documents to back up that claim, but the way that it was reported in the press and by the because I worked for the company, is that right and fair? I would say no, that is not just, and that is not right, and that is not fair, and it's not temperate. So, pay your fucking workers. Don't have people like influencers like Haley Bailey going to an event and not being paid, but doing a job there for what? Free promotion, which that hasn't worked out too great for her because she's had a big massive backlash for it. Maybe how many people? Let's just do that. Let's just do the math. Let's just do the math. Let's Google it, right? For the sake of it. Let's Google how much to attend Met Gala 2024. As per report, so this is by news18.com. Don't know that news channel. I don't know how credible it is, but it's the first thing that Google brought up. As per reports, one ticket for the Met Gala costs around $75,000, while entire tables start at $350,000. That's somebody's house. You've bought a table for one night. That could be somebody's entire house with like mortgage paid. Here's a family home, right? Just to put it into context, $75,000 would pay off the rest of my mortgage. So ticket to one fancy event or no mortgage payments. And again, the rest of my mortgage, like what is remaining. Okay, so based on that information, how many people had tickets to the Met Gala 2024? Fashion's biggest night is a cocktail dinner party for around 400 to 450 invited guests. Okay, I'm bad at math, so let's take the lower number. So let's say 400 times 75,000 equals, that's a lot of zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, so 30 million, right? Does the math check out? $30 million. They hosted an event. They invited people to pay for their own tickets and made 30 million. There's something wrong with that equation, isn't there? And then Haley Bailey, little excited to be attending this glamorous event. Haley Bailey, whose friend made her a dress. It wasn't even like a designer. I don't even know who her friend is. Maybe it's like Marc Jacobs. I don't know. But her friend made her a dress for the event and she showed up, and now she is the headline face of the entire event, and she didn't even actually attend the event. And there's something wrong with the math. There is something fucking wrong with the math of that situation. If you ask little old me, based on what I Googled, I don't have the financial reports, but something feels like that in my mind when I think of that situation with no evidence to back it up. Oh, fuck yeah. The Empress card, though, whatever this Empress is in your heart, in your emotions, in the future, whether this is you or somebody else, or you and somebody else teaming up, The Empress and the High Priestess teaming up. That is a mad combination. Woe betide anyone who gets on the wrong side of the Empress and the High Priestess. Look at all the pink. Yeah. So this is the High Priestess card, by the way. Like, but you've confirmed the Empress with the High Priestess. And then the High Priestess is in your thoughts. We've already seen the Empress, I think. Did the Empress come out somewhere? Yeah, the Empress is already here. 2 Empresses and a High Priestess in your heart. Okay, the truth of the High Priestess. Whoa, that is too many cards. I'm not taking all that. The truth, she's complicated, guys. Truth of the High Priestess in your thoughts in the future. Truth of the High Priestess in your thoughts in the future. 6 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. That makes me think, because it's progression, right? The 6 of Cups to the 7 of Cups. That's like, you know when you dream of someone and then they call you? Like, you think of a friend that you've not seen for ages, and then they, like, show up on your doorstep, and you're like, no way, I just thought of you. Or, you know, when people have, like, the pictures done, like, they commission the painting of their soulmate. It's like, this person's going to draw me my soulmate, and then they get the picture of the soulmate, and then it's like, then it's happening. It's like having a vision of the future, because it's the High Priestess and the truth. It's like having a vision of the future that then happens, because it's like, this is now this, right? But it's reversed, it's mirrored, because she's looking at it through the veil. She's looking at it through the mirror from the other side. So it's in the inverse of the actual situation. So the 6 of Cups, memories, nostalgia, rose-tinted glasses, children, and the 7 of Cups, which is like, what do I choose? Who do I choose? I have options. Okay, I'm going to turn that just face down because so many boobies in this deck. Such a rude deck. It's so cheeky, guys. I don't know. I'm trying to do a voice like that actress and it's not really coming out very well. And then not missing out anymore. No longer missing out. What are you not missing out on? What is this cup that you're paying attention to? What are you going to see? What are you going to do? It's in your action space. So this is not just thoughts and dreams. This is doing. Not missing out on the King of Pentacles. Ooh, chase me, chase me. Not missing out on the King of Pentacles because you've rejected the Knight of Wands, whoever that is. Again, female, male, don't any gender. But this person wasn't doing it for you anymore because the novelty wore off, right? The satisfaction level. There was something not quite satisfying about this Knight of Wands, despite whatever they promised you, despite whatever heat was there in the first place. You wanted stability. You wanted, the Empress needs stability. Again, she is one of the queens that she is, because she's all 4 queens. She's the Queen of Pentacles, right? She's the queen of stability and nutrition and financial independence and, you know, paying the fucking mortgage and putting food on the table and actually cooking nutritious food. Like that's her domain among the other 3 realms that the Empress is all 4 queens of the tarot, so she can do whatever the fuck she wants, basically. But she wants the King of Pentacles. She wants someone reliable. She wants somebody who's there every day, right? She doesn't want the ring your doorbell, you know, hot one-night stand, and then you don't hear from them for months. She doesn't want the unreliable one, right? She wants the guy who's there every day. And, you know, like they're having a little kiss chasey flirty thing there. I don't know. And he looks pretty hot to me. He looks like he could be a King of Wands as well. Don't judge a wand by its cover, I just heard. Well, okay. Yeah, not missing out on that. Daddy's home. And the Page of Cups. This could be a new romance. This person's like, I want to tell this person how I feel. I want to write the love letter. Maybe this is the ex. He was too emotionally immature, perhaps. And then you're out there kind of kissing the handsome prince. I don't know. And the bottom card is extremely kinky, so I'm not showing that one. I'm going to wrap this up. How am I going to wrap this reading up? I am going to wrap this reading up with Do you know what? Let's go with the good tarot. I don't usually use this as like a last message kind of thing because it's a tarot deck, not an oracle deck, but it's such a gorgeous deck that I don't know, she wants to be used. I can feel it. Don't read too much into what I just said. Advice. 3 of Earth and the 2 of Cups we're taking, and then look at that gorgeous love with a lion, with a lion on the bottom. There's a reason they picked this deck. The Lovers card doesn't normally have a lion on it, but in this deck it does. Working together, yeah, that's a relationship that works. That's a relationship where you collaborate, when you work together. 2 of Cups. I don't need to say any more than that. That's really good. 3 of Earth, literally working together. Like, who is going to support me? Who's going to work on this with me? Who is going to understand me? Who's going to listen? Who's going to be attentive to my needs, my actual needs, not just what they project onto me? I want somebody who's like a life partner. I want somebody who is in this with me, and we're going to work as a team. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a business partner you're looking for. But yeah, perfect. I love it. Let's get you a... Sorry, noisy neighbours out there. Let's get you... Call the shots. Yeah, I mean, the Empress and the High Priestess. You if anyone can call the shots, it's the Empress and the High Priestess. Yeah, really, really, that's like in collaboration with the universe. Whatever you're doing it with spirit support. What do we have for Leo? Close out the reading. Expensive, Tori Kelly and Day Jack. And lyrics can't load because Spotify are starting to charge for lyrics for some unknown reason, even though they never used to. So I'm just going to Google the lyrics. Since they're broken on Spotify anyway, so I'm not going to pay for a broken service. Expensive, Tori Kelly. I love it. Tori Kelly. I mean, it takes me an extra second. It's not very convenient. I'd rather the lyrics were just there for free like they used to be on Spotify. You know, I listen to the stupid ads, so... you know, that was the deal as far as I was aware. Expensive, song by Tori Kelly. Let me tell you, baby, I don't need no diamonds on my body. Got no green in my eyes. So she's talking about jealousy. If you've got green eyes, like, it's fine. Can you feel me? Get a brand new Bentley. I'll tell you now, it makes no difference. Just want all of your time. 'Cause you kiss me like I'm dreaming, like I'm 1 in a million. And I think it's time you figured out, because I know you've got that something and it won't cost you nothing. I already feel expensive enough. Turn that gold into dust. Turn what matters. That's what matters. Money don't buy love. So it's so funny because you're not missing out on the King of Pentacles anymore, but you're the queen, right? You are the queen. You're the Empress. So the Empress is above the King of Pentacles. It's like, I don't want your money. I've got my own money. I'm not here for your money. I'm actually interested in you and the type of person you are and your dependability and all those qualities that made you that money in the first place, like being dependable, being hardworking, being ambitious, you know, all those things that the King of Pentacles is. The Knight of Wands is like, I got my inheritance and I bought a Porsche. And it's like, well, you didn't earn the Porsche though, did you? So it's what you're telling me is you've blown the money. This person made the money. So there's different qualities that went into what they have. Do you see the difference with that? So it's like the having a nice car isn't as impressive as you think it is, but earning a nice car probably means you've got some sort of, like, actually earning it. Yeah, not being like in the family business, you know, not being like trust fund money, but actually earning that car. And this is coming from someone who's shit at making money. Like, I respect people who can. I respect people who actually are good with money in that kind of like dependable, long-term, acorn into an oak tree kind of way. Like, good for you. Shout out the Capricorns and the Tauruses. Virgos, I love you, but you're too busy looking after everybody else. Like, you lend people money too much, Virgos. Okay. So call me crazy. No, I'm not staring at your pocket. I ain't digging for dimes. The fact is, baby, we've all been taught to chase that dollar, but that's not on my mind. Because you kiss me like I'm dreaming, like I'm one in a million. Yeah, I love it. But if I had $100,000, if I'm a king, power falling into my pocket, I'd get a diamond ring for my girl and her mama. Wonder why she ain't calling. Do you love me? I'm a man with a problem, never found love, so I went out and bought it. And my 2 cents makes sense, I'm talking. Hey girl, I'm here, no wallet. What happened to the love in the moment? A hug and I hold you, a hand to your shoulder to feel closer. Yeah, so I feel like it could be a situation where one person has, like, say the feminine has had a guy who has been like impulsive and wasteful and not reliable, and now she's finding a king of pentacles, right? She's finding this reliable guy, but she's not interested in him for his money. She's interested in him for his dependability, because like that makes you feel safe, right? That makes you feel supported, and that's kind of what a lot of people want in a long-term relationship. And it feels like the King of Pentacles has had a lot of people who've liked this person for their money, right? A lot of women who have been like, toss a coin to your witcher, you know, toss a coin to your witchy. You know, maybe this person is very, very wealthy, and, you know, they've not been a very good judge of character, and they've got themselves into a lot of relationships with women who are like, I'm going to marry you, have a baby and divorce you and take all your money. Because there are some women like that. I'm not saying all women are like that, right? But, you know, some women, that's the strategy. So maybe there is a match here where the King of Pentacles is actually finding someone who loves him for who he is, because she doesn't want him for his money. She's got her own money, right? So it's like, well, why is she here? Kind of like, you must love me, but role reversal. I don't know. I quite like this reading in the end. Let me know what you think of it, if you feel comfortable sharing and you feel like your exes aren't kind of stalking your comments. And yeah, I think that's actually a good strategy there. Like, you know, save your acorns. Save your acorns. No, don't be nutting. Okay, I'm gonna go. Take care. Love your faces. Bye, friends.